So for this one, we're joined by someone that my longer term listeners and viewers will be familiar with, but not for what you might think. We have Steve O'Brien here to tell us all about his solo black metal project, Khazurvaal. The debut release, Unyielding Shadows. So welcome back to the show, Steve.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Sarah.
So many people will know you as the host of the Metal Podcast and guitarist in Eon's Abyss, where you play death thrash, but you have a massive love for black metal that has clearly been waiting to get out of you, artistically speaking. So what is the concept behind Khazurvaal and the name itself?
So the name Khazurvaal is a bit of a play on some Sumerian and maybe some Persian ancient dialect. Basically, it means master of darkness or dark master from the abyss.
Nice. Perfectly in line with black metal.
Yeah. Yes, it's the idea for me in terms of black metal. Like, black metal has to represent evil.
Yep.
And I think that evil goes back way beyond anything that we know as humans. In terms of our existence, I think evil sits there at the very fabric of all existence.
Yep.
And the concept of Khazurvaal is to look into the darkness and just, there's hints there in almost everything that there's an underlying presence of darkness and evil just lurking, just waiting, biding its time, sitting back and enjoying what it's saying. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming for everyone at some point.
Excellent. And so how does that whole concept come through across the different tracks in this release?
Strangely, the concept for the songs came to me almost as a bit of a vision.
Yep.
I was doing a deep dive into second wave black metal, and I was doing a lot of work for the podcast on both Bathory, where I remastered a bunch of really horrible audio quality Bathory interviews, but I was able to use my mixing tools to sort of clean them up.
Yeah. And
that led then into like I said, a real deep dive into second wave black metal. And from that experience, there was almost like a calling to do something.
Awesome.
And it sort of came in a dream in terms of what Khazurvaal would be.
So something literally reached out to you in the darkness.
Yeah, it was just like all of a sudden it was there. The concept was there, and the idea for these 4 songs about the hidden evil and the fact that everything that's created is born of destruction, and everything that is alive ultimately wants to kill, or there's this process of death and destruction and war, and right down from the micro level all the way up to the highest powers that be.
Yeah.
So the songs cover things like death via pestilence, also through design, the inevitability of death, the power that comes with realizing the evil that's there and embracing it, and that one's told from the first person perspective, not from me, but it's from someone else that's looked into the shadows and probably gone a little bit too far, the darkness.
Yeah, okay.
And the final song is about death from the universe as we know it's full of destruction.
Yeah.
We're born from explosion as far as we know, and there's things flying around that are going to whack into us at some point.
Yep. No, I love that. And I feel like it can be like that with creative processes. Like sometimes things you have to work really hard towards and you have to think and contemplate for them to come to you. But sometimes things they just come to you. As someone who does like visual art, sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night with something in my head and like I have to write it down or make some sort of a note to get it out immediately, or else it'll be gone again. So when this all came to you, did you start working on that very quickly? Did you kind of, sit on it for a bit? Where did you go from there?
I let it percolate.
Yep.
So I knew there was 4 songs, but I let them just sit, and I just had some sketches or in terms of the story,
Yeah.
or the message. And then once I was in the right space, I had the right time in front of me to commit to it, I sort of went bang with the music.
Yeah, awesome. No, that's great. You already touched on this a little bit, but what do you think makes good black metal, and who would some of your favorite black metal artists be?
I think black metal has to be real.
Yeah.
Like, I think there needs to be an inherent underlying connection with that style of music. It just needs to come like from you.
Yep.
It needs to be free in terms of how it's played,
Yeah.
and it's hard to explain because there's different subgenres of black metal,
So many. So
but it's
many.
sort of like you sort of know when you hear something, you'll know that's proper black metal.
Yeah.
And it may not even, like, the music itself may not be traditionally 100% there, but if the feeling is there,
Yeah.
you know. And for me, look, the early stuff, obviously, I've talked about Bathory. Another band that I think has had some influence on me, but also on the scene. Early Destruction, Sodom and Creator, Venom, of course.
Yeah.
Then it's the classics, isn't it? It's Dark Throne, it's Mayhem, Burzum,
Yeah.
Emperor. I'm a big, big fan for Satyricon, especially the first few albums and particular songs in their latter discography. Enslaved. And another artist that I really do like is Judas Iscariot.
Yep.
He took the best elements to a degree, or he amalgamated a lot of the elements of those first key artists and just paid homage to them to a degree, but did it, like I said before, in a free way. It was the music wasn't fake; it was him
Mm.
just playing proper black metal.
Yep.
In terms of modern artists, like, I really like Mjork,
Yeah.
a Norwegian band, but with a lot of modern black metal too, I hear some of it. I don't want to say a lot of it, but the stuff I don't like is the stuff that's really sort of predictably formulaic. It's very
Yep.
measured, and a lot of the symphonic elements almost have a pop music feel to them to me,
They can. Yeah. Yeah.
and I sort of don't like that. It just turns me off a little bit.
Yeah,
I
that's fair.
like it a little bit harsh and
Yep.
evil. I think it's got to be evil black metal.
Yeah. Now, in terms of the music and the instrumentation, how did you go about like writing and recording all the different aspects? I mean, so were there anything that, or any parts that had to be done through programming, any instruments that you had to kind of learn or adapt to do this as your own project?
Look, through the work I've done over the years from recording music, I was able to do everything myself. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
The approach that I took, but was different, and it's probably something I actually don't want to talk about too much because it's in the shadows.
Yep, I can respect that. How did you find the task of tackling the vocals in particular, though? Did that come pretty naturally?
Well, it did in that back in the high school days, I used to do more backing vocals.
Yep.
They're our metal band back in the early 90s. And even with the songwriting that I do for the other band, sometimes I'll track vocals, send them to Death Part so you can hear what I'm thinking.
Yep.
And I sort of have that high register naturally, like it's that throaty register. So
Yep.
the black metal vocals, yeah, they weren't all that tricky to do.
That's awesome. No, they came across really well. So I was very, very curious about that.
It was fun to do too.
Nice. And I believe that you had some challenges in kind of mastering and finding the right fit for that. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that and where you ended up going?
Yeah, look, I always like to send my music out to be mastered by
Yeah.
someone else, and I really I wanted to find someone who could be, again, who knew the style that I was sort of doing. Like you said before, black metal there's a hidden community there.
Yeah.
So to sort of tap into that Northern European community, and when you look up details on some of the famous black metal albums, or even stuff that's coming out now from the bigger bands, it's not always easy to find who's been involved in the project.
Yeah.
Like, the details aren't there. So I had to do a fair bit of work, finding bands that I respected from that part of the world, because I think that's where my music sits stylized from a
Yep.
styling point of view. and I just wanted to find the right person, and I ended up going with a mastering studio in Finland, the fella, he loved the music straight away. Like,
Awesome.
he gave me some great feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and he said he does a lot of mastering, but this was one of the best things he's had all year. And even his wife came out and had a listen. But I just love that too. You've got this little village, this little cottage somewhere in Finland, and
Yep.
he's doing a lot of black metal, and his missus pops out and gets involved. It's good.
No, that's awesome. But you want someone working on it who gives a shit, who likes it, who wants it to be good, right? That's awesome.
And super professional, easy to work with, just great.
Yep. And what was it again? Troll House Audio?
Troll House Audio.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
So I'd like to also shout out Matt Prizzo.
Yep.
Gifted me the artwork for Khazurvaal. And Beautiful. It was funny because I had some of the music written, and I had some art concepts in mind.
Yep.
And he put that one onto his Instagram, and he was offering it for sale, and I said, "Yeah, I want that, mate," and he just gave it to me.
What a legend! And it fits so well.
Yeah, it was, and again, that was like it was meant to be. And he's such a good supporter of underground metal, extreme metal, black metal. He's got a bunch of bands he's part of, including Spells of Torment, which are fantastic black and sort of death thrash band. So big shout out to Matt Prizzo for the artwork, because now that's part of the Khazurvaal story. And that is one of the, Khazurvaal, it's potentially more than one entity in that, but that's a little visit from Khazurvaal.
Amazing. No, I think that's fantastic. Now, so the EP has been made available on streaming platforms, and you did initially air it through the Black Metal promotion page as well. Your first run of CDs has sold out, which is wonderful. How has the release process been, and how has it been received so far? Like, what sort of response and feedback are you getting?
It's gone really well. Like, it was funny to watch it drop on Black Metal promotion and see the surprise in the comments. They do a live stream when they drop something for the first time, and it was like a bit of surprise that this was an Australian project. I'm like, what?
Yep. How do you create this in so much sunshine?
Black Metal kangaroo is a thing, I think, was one of the comments. Look, traditionally Australian black metal is a lot more death metal. It's sort of black and death metal. It's very more aggressive war metal. There's nothing wrong with that, of course.
Yeah.
And some of that stuff is freaking brilliant, but it was a different style to what I think people are used to for Australian black metal.
Yeah,
I know there's
definitely.
some really atmospheric stuff out there from Aussie bands.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was, and it's done really well on Black Metal promotion. Still getting lots of listens, lots of follows on. Like, Bandcamp is where it's at for, I think, black metal if you don't have a label.
Yeah.
And it's done really well. Like you said, the CDs have sold out. Yeah, it's good. I like it. It's good because it gives me a platform to do the next thing, and also releasing the demo song "Seapass Shadows" was useful too, because that just helped again, like, let people have a little listen before the EP came out.
And it was a little bit different to what's on the EP, so I imagine it allowed you to explore a slightly different sound as well.
Yeah, different recording process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or different recording items used, I should say.
Yeah. Okay. And so I guess, what are your plans for the project? Are you looking at doing more music? Are you looking at doing any live stuff? What's next?
So there should be a small run of cassettes coming soon.
Yep.
I won't announce anything more around that, but there should be a small amount of cassettes coming.
Awesome.
They'll probably disappear quickly as well.
Yeah.
They tend to do that. I'd love to get there seems to be a fair bit of interest on the other side of the world. So if there's a European black metal label that has any interest, I'd love to throw it out there and just do a small run with them.
Yeah.
Just to help get it out there. Because I think the streaming services, speaking of evil, the streaming services, they strip the hell out of music for the most part.
Yep.
Like if you go on Bandcamp, for instance, and you listen to the song, it's much truer to what the artist released.
Yeah.
Even though they reduce the quality, they just do a straight compression to an MP3. The streaming services use their own special coding, and it's all based around the most popular music. So the first thing they knock out of a lot of songs is the stereo width and the space and the ambience. And then they start taking the low end out, and then they just kill. Like it's like listening to music through glass. Now, some black metal it's fine because it's already harsh as, but I think it's just so good to listen to it on physical. So it's mastered for vinyl, it's mastered for cassette. I'd love to get it done on all those. That would be where it's at for the next at least 6 months or so.
Nice.
There is another project percolating.
Yep.
There are some things coming to me around what the concept will be for the next album, but they're still hazy.
Yep.
But of course, it'll continue to explore the darkness from the shadows,
awesome.
The evil from the shadows. Yes,
that's fantastic. Of course, I always like to ask, where can people find you and how can they best show their support? I mean, Bandcamp was one of them.
Instagram as well. It's just Bandcamp and Instagram.
Yep.
Probably that'll be it, I'd say. I'm not going to do much more. YouTube, I think stuff like this is the best thing for YouTube.
Yeah.
For Khazurvaal.
Excellent. And look, thanks again for joining me. It's been great having you on again.